News headlines. Vance, the Minneapolis A shop has become an engineer. Trump, in the guise of a hero, used a mercenary weapon. The enemy became suspicious. The presence of U.S. warships near Bahrain was confirmed by the image of the I border. And the arrest of 148 leaders of unrest in Hamadan by the soldiers of the late Imam Zaman.
با استفاده از گزارش‌های مردمی و اقدامات اطلاعاتی
In the name of God and some, welcome to this news service, and we are the news headlines. Vance, the Minneapolis A shop, has become an engineer. J.D. Vance, the U.S. President's deputy, in response to recent protests in the Minneapolis, said this is a direct result of the direct actions of the A-shop Taliban, which does not cooperate with the local authorities. Vance, who attended the Minneapolis on Friday in support of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agencies, he emphasized that the non-cooperation of local and state authorities is due to federal law until protests are escalated. He also did not cooperate with the federal government on the real situation, nor did he cooperate with the local authorities on local issues. It has been reported that the protests in Minneapolis have changed after the intervention of the ICE forces and the arrest of a 5-year-old child due to general criticism and discontent. The local authorities, but the federal government, have been the main contributor to the protests, and they've been affected by the government's political interventions. According to Reuters, on Friday night at a local time, 50,000 residents of the city of Minneapolis gathered at a negative 29 degrees Celsius on the streets to protest against the repressive and inhumane actions of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. According to this report, the protesters, with the arrest of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the arrest of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in this city, have been accused of expelling them and stopping the Trump administration's immigration policies. Reuters also reported that the protesters had organized mass protests in the halls of the Minneapolis police stations and that a number of workers and organizations in this city had also taken to the streets on Friday. At the same time, CNN reported that Donald Trump, at a private party related to the continuation of the protests in the city of Minneapolis, has expressed his disappointment and concern and been disappointed by the spread of discontent. According to a report published on January 7, 2020, the 27-year-old U.S. citizen Rene Gaudreau was killed by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials in an incident that sparked a wave of protests across the United States. In this way, as of now, millions of people in various cities in the United States have gathered in protest against the Trump administration's immigration policies and the actions of the ICE officers. U.S. law enforcers have warned that the behavior of these officers is inconsistent with the human rights balance and the basic law of the United States. In this way, Washington's allegations of defending human rights are facing serious threats. Donald Trump, the President of the United Nations, announced on Wednesday that during Nicolas Maduro's inauguration, the President of the Venezuelan Republic in Caracas last month used a new weapon of hostility called a slingshot. In an interview with the New York Post, Trump said that this weapon is also used by American helicopters in Caracas to carry out operations against Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores. He also said that the Venezuelans' military capabilities are completely different. Despite the fact that this new hostile weapon caused the enemy's preparations in Venezuela to fail and indicated that it would not disclose the details, in an interview with the Washington Post, Trump said that this slingshot is actually used in operations. The President of the United States added that they could not fire their missiles. They had Russian and Chinese missiles, but they could not activate any of them. We entered, pressed the buttons, and nothing happened. They were fully prepared, but it was useless. In a follow-up to this publication, Trump said that he had received reports that Joe Biden's government had previously purchased a weapon of hostile energy, which is said to be related to something known as the Havana syndrome.
The following day, there was confirmed information about the nature of this weapon, but the reports are based on field testimonies from inside the Venezuelan military, which show that Maduro's pro-government militias have become very weak, bloodthirsty. Trump said in an interview with the News Nation in response to a question about this subject, "We have weapons that no one knows about them. However, no one else wants to have them in their possession." And he continued, "I think I don't want to talk about this subject anymore, but we have sophisticated weapons." According to one of Maduro's close security forces, all of his radar equipment was missing and without any explanation. However, after that, a large number of aircraft flew over our airspace, and we didn't know how to act. This witness stated that about 8 helicopters later appeared, which transported about 20 American soldiers to the scene. Unfortunately, at one point, they released something that I can't explain. It was like a very loud explosion. I suddenly felt that my head was exploding, and we all started bleeding. Some of us were bleeding. We fell to the ground. We couldn't move, and even after using the sound weapon or anything else, we couldn't get up. The new satellite image shows that 3 warships of the United States Marine Corps have landed on the coast of Bahrain. These ships are part of the 5th U.S. Marine Corps. They are stationed in the Persian Gulf region, a sign of the strength of the U.S. military presence in the Middle East. One of these ships is the class Nimitz aircraft carrier, which has been named in my country in recent months, and its presence has been confirmed in the satellite image. Military experts say that this action gives the U.S. the ability to respond quickly to any security changes in the region and conduct reconnaissance and surveillance operations in the Persian Gulf waters and the Hormuz Strait. The United States has not yet issued any official details about the exact number and type of the ships, but experts say that this is an installation to maintain the stability and security of the world's shipping lines and energy routes. Explorers also emphasized that the presence of the U.S. military in Bahrain in the situation of regional escalation is a promising step to ensure the security of the Persian Gulf. Also, according to Chinese media, 2 ships from China and 1 from Russia have landed at the international airport of Tehran. These media have confirmed that these aircraft carried cargoes that have a leading importance in the current regional situation. But no official details about the type and exact purpose of these flights have yet been announced. According to these reports, 2 Chinese aircraft have moved from the airbase in China and arrived in Tehran, and a 3rd aircraft has landed from Russia and landed at the Khomeini airport. These aircraft have also landed in the Middle East in recent escalation conditions. However, no official document or official agreement has been issued by the Iranian and Russian authorities in this regard. According to reports, the soldiers of the late Imam Zaman in the Ministry of National Intelligence, who was a member of the National Security Council of Tehran, have been involved in foreign networks and sabotage activities, including 148 members of the National Security Council of Tehran. One of these people, who had come to Tehran with the intention of destroying some of the neighboring provinces, had come to Tehran with the intention of destroying some of the neighboring provinces, and after the massacre of a security guard force in one of the old cities of Tehran, was arrested in a joint intelligence operation. According to reports, this person has a criminal record of human trafficking and assault. Also, a number of people related to the attack on the Basij forces and the attack on the enemy have been identified and released by a senior citizen in Nahavand. As part of the security operations, 2 Molotov cocktail production and distribution teams have been identified, and 5 of them have been arrested. The amount of attention to the Molotov cocktail and its production facilities have been discovered and registered. In addition to these 3 teams, 4 of the leaders of the General Staff and General Staff, 2 foreign agents, 1 person related to Israel, and 1 team related to the International News Network have been arrested in the course of Hamadan's intelligence operations. This news was published in the official reports of the Ministry of National Intelligence of Hamadan. It has been unilaterally rewritten to be used in more sensitive places to describe the events. Thank you for watching, and see you in another video.